Target Trading Academy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Preston Vogl here at Target Trading Academy with today's Micros Market Recap. Let's get right into it. It is Tuesday, September 13th, right at the New York close, getting into micro oil. We opened gap down from the close from yesterday. We had a huge news announcement this morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, that's CPI. And let me tell you, what a ride. The markets have just been puking. It's been great to watch. Anyways, so we had some initial selling right after oil opened. They had tried to make a run up and just got stuffed about 3 times. And then they finally made a move up, and then they just could not carry it any further, and they just dropped like a rock. They had several attempts again to come back up, hitting this edge, what is it, the 5th time in that area, and they just dropped it even further, ultimately bringing it down, making a new low for the day around 85.05 with a quick rally before they closed. But ultimately, oil is closing net down for the day. As far as gold goes, we had that similar story with the CPI coming out. You can actually see the CPI news here at 8:30. So we opened inside the range, pretty close to the close from yesterday, had some initial buying, and then the news came out and just boop, dropped it like a rock, getting some new lows in the day. And then they had tried to rally, but you can see they had this brick here to get through, and they just consolidated for the remainder of the day. So a handful of entries again, also closing net down for the day. Now the equities, this is something that I was really curious in seeing today of how it performed. But I'm going to scroll back just a little bit further to show you that CPI news. So we were actually gap up from the close, and then that news came out and just dropped us. I think it was about 100 points or so in the ES, easy 450, if not more. I think it was more in the, no, not 450, 250, I believe, initially. In NASDAQ, I could be wrong. But you can just see that they dropped it down, and we opened gap down from the close. All of a sudden, we were gap up. Now we're gap down, and they just continue that momentum down for the remainder of the day. And so the sellers were clearly in charge. There were several opportunities, both trending and reversal opportunities at these HVA levels, most recently over here. With that said, we are closing net down. Easy to say, net down for the day in the equities. Currently 175 in the ES and about 695 in the NASDAQ. So similar story in the NASDAQ. That CPI just boom, dropped it. Was not terribly far from making new highs, it looked like, and then they just decided to step in and just pound it into the ground and bury it more than 6 feet under. But they just drove that sucker down and just kept burying it. So it always puts a smile on my face to see these large moves. It's just so fascinating because we've had virtually no real movement in our markets during the pit session. Granted, we've been opening up these past few days, gap up, and then we just gap and go in the equities. And then all of a sudden we get these one news announcement, and they just wiped out all that progress that was made. And so I can't help but smile because it's like a train wreck or a car accident. You just can't look away. So it's always fascinating to see. Again, these levels, though, they held up pretty well. It was a pretty choppy day on the way down, I will say that. There was a fight for some areas that they did not want to get through, but ultimately they did get through them. Now, that being said, they did get through them, so they are net down for the day in all the equities. You're net down in every market that we have here. If you guys have any questions, or if you're wanting to know of how you can get these levels onto your charts the night before the next day's trading activity, feel free to reach out to us. We are Target Trading Academy. You can find us on Facebook or go to our website at targettrading.co. Again, that's targettrading.co. We look forward to seeing you there.